shun you for.
I know that Jack Abramoff, I read his wiki, is now working at Tove Pizza in Baltimore, which I've been to. I mean, it sounds like he's back in the community.
Oh yeah,
Like
I mean, yeah, and he did a lot for the Orthodox community. I mean, he gave a lot of charity. He started a yeshiva.
Can we talk about the yeshiva for a second?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, let's get my first plug for my nephews here. They both went to that yeshiva.
And look how they turned out.
They got fucked! They got fucked in the ass. Let me tell you about that yeshiva, okay?
Uh-huh.
He promised everything, right? He promised everything. It was like, we're going to have a hockey arena, and we're going to bring in Wayne Gretzky's going to teach them all how to play hockey, and we're going to bring in like the biggest rebellion, and it's like we're going to do Techiyas Amesim, and Chofetz Chaim is going to teach a shir in the afternoon, and like all this brochure, which like was unbelievable. Their proposal for what this was going to be was like going to be they're going to have like a skyscraper for yeshiva who's going to build this, and you would not believe how much money was going to be synced into this thing, okay? And, it was all bogus money.
Right,
it was all monopoly money, really, right?
Right.
So my nephews went to it, right? The place folded up because he got investigated and he couldn't spend any more money. The money dried within like a year, right?
Yeah.
So they went there. My older nephew transferred from TA. He was going to Talmudic Academy, which is like the big, yeshiva.
In Manhattan? Or
No, in Baltimore.
Baltimore. Oh,
it's like the big yeshivish high school, if you will, right?
Mm-hmm.
You know who was the Rosh Yeshiva there at the time?
No.
The principal of the school?
No.
Pesci Teichman, who had previously taught here at Eula, was a friend of mine.
Oh.
Do you know him? Are you familiar with him?
No.
He would have liked you. Okay, so where are we? So my nephew transferred for his second 2 years, so it means he's got to have to show a diploma. If he wants to go to yeshiva, he's got to prove that he went to yeshiva prior to that. If he wants to go to college, he has to show a high school diploma. And guess what happens during his senior year at that school?
It goes belly up.
It goes belly up, and he's not in any school. He's like kicked out of high school. He can't get a diploma. He can't show what he's been doing for the last 6 months, and he is screwed. Okay, so don't. And here's what else that people don't talk about. His rebbeim and all the teachers teaching there, they did not get paid for their last few months of working there. They're never going to see that money. They worked every day and did not get paid. This is a fact. So I don't want to hear how he did great things for Jewish people. It says, "Ein mitzvah haba bi'avera," that you can't steal money and use the money for good. If you steal money, like you can't steal. It talks about in the Gemara. You can't steal a lulav and esrog and go make a bracha on it. You're not yotzi. It's not. You can't steal something and make money out of it. And get mitzvahs for it, right?
Yeah.
He stole this money or whatever, right? And he put it in yeshiva. It doesn't make it's not like in Shemayim. It's not money laundering. It doesn't get cleaned that way. You can't steal money and give it to the yeshiva, right? And you're giving other people's money and get a schar mitzvah for it.
Yeah.
So he didn't do anything good. He did damage. He did damage to the people he screwed over, but he also did damage to the Jewish community because there's these rebbeim who worked and they didn't get paid. They could have been doing something else during that time. They went there in good faith every day and they never got paid. And my nephew, his school went belly up in the middle of his senior year. And my other nephew, who was younger, he had to transfer to TA for the next 2 years.
And those poor Indian tribes. I'm kidding. Who cares about the Goyim, right?
But you know what my nephew got out of it, though?
A free trip to one of the tribal...
No, he got... Because Abramoff had all these connections. He had, like, box seats at the Verizon Center in Maryland or whatever. My nephew got free tickets to... He got to sit in the owner's...
Luxury box?
He sat in a luxury box for, I don't know if it was the Capitals games or whatever, but whoever played there, he got... And he also got free tickets to Dave Matthews Band.
Oh, that's not so bad.
Personally, from Abramoff.
All right, Jack. Way to go. Thank you for the things you've done for the Jewish people. Hey, so who sent you flowers? You can't say?
No.
But that was nice. I mean, do you get flowers a lot?
No.
I mean, I sent them to you before our first interview, didn't I? I'm not sure.
No, you mixed me up with that girl today, I think.
I thought I sent you flowers, but I guess... I guess I didn't bring you flowers.
Wait,
anymore.
what does Ellen say? I'd love to hear
Rabbs,
tell a
so
story
tell
with
me,
the flowers.
tell me how you found someone to share those flowers
Oh,
with.
this is like the weirdest thing. You sure? We're just rambling here now.
Yeah,
You know,
go
people
ahead.
turn in, they want to hear Torah.
This
from
woman wants to hear the story of the flowers.
All right, so this Torah story is really quick. I didn't have. I mean, I got flowers unexpectedly on Thursday night, and I cut them and I put them in the vase with the water. And then the next morning I woke up and I checked my Facebook and my nephew had posted and he said, "Hey, why don't you give them to the Shabbos goy, this woman who one time turned on her air conditioner." I'll give you the background on this. My nephew was staying by me in the summer, but not this summer. It was before. It was like last year, and it was burning hot out, like L.A. in the summer.
Burning.
And my air conditioner died.
Yeah.
And so we couldn't stay in the house because it was like 100 degrees. So we were outside and we're like, well, we'll just find like some goy and tell him to go in there and turn the button on. Because it's on Shabbos, you know what I mean? And we were like waiting and nobody was walking down. And finally this woman walked down the street and I recognized her because she works like around the corner from me at a place where I go into and I had bought something from...
A massage parlor.
Yes, I went to the massage parlor.
You bought a massage.
Do you want to interview her?
Is she hot? You shouldn't say.
I shouldn't. I don't want to.
We don't look at women.
No, we don't.
Terms.
So I had recognized her because I had worked with her before. I had done business with her, and she was walking down the street, and I went and I was explaining the story to her. We needed somebody to turn on the air conditioner, and she was like, "Okay, she'll do it." And she went up and turned on.
And
the
then she stayed.
No, she was late for work, and she flew out of there.
Had some drinks with you guys.
No, not at all, not at all.
Did a little dancing.
No.
So this time you walk out the door, you go for a walk.
No. So my nephew said, "Why don't you give it to her?" Which implied that I would walk over to that place where she works and walk in the door and go, "Hi, would you like some flowers?" And I'm like, I cannot picture myself doing that because I mean it's just too awkward for Rabbs to walk into a store and just, "Hi, I'm the FTD guy today," and. Don't think I want to make a move on you.
I'm the STD guy today.
And don't think I'm interested in you just because I'm handing you a bouquet of like 30,000 flowers here. Don't get the wrong impression. I just.
But could you come over and fix my air conditioner?
Would you come over and fix my air conditioner? Yeah, late at night. It's like.
And there goes Devin Hester for a touchdown.
I thought, oh god. So I'm thinking like this woman is gonna like call the police if I walk in there. She's like, I'm not gonna be allowed to do business there anymore.
Yeah.
And I don't want to give the wrong impression. It's like, you know what? I don't want to do it. So I walk over to the bank, right? And I'm walking back from the bank, and I'm walking down the street. Now I want to.
Are you carrying the flowers?
No, I'm just walking down the street, right?
Yeah.
And I just want to say that in between the time that I saw her that day when she turned on the air conditioner, and the day that and last week I had never seen her on my block. Like the only time she's on my block, I guess, was when she parks her car on my street, right?
Yeah.
And then I have to be like outside during that 1 minute when she's walking by, and I had never happened. I'm walking down the street. This is only like 3 hours after my nephew posted it on Facebook. I'm walking down the street. She's coming down the other way. And I'm like, and I didn't recognize her at first because she was covered up because like it was raining out or something, and she was like covered. I didn't know who it was, and I was walking, and I was about to turn into where I live, and she waves. She's like, "Hey," and I'm trying to figure out who it is. So she takes off her hood, and I was like, "Holy fucking Louise, that's the chick who works over there." I was like, I'm gonna give her the flowers. This is like too weird. I'm gonna give her the flowers. I was like, "Hey, you want the flowers?" And she was like, "You got flowers for me?" And I'm like, "Yeah." And I'm like, "Hold on." And then I just ran out and I gave them to her, and she was gone. I was like, "Oh my god, is that weird?" And that's the whole story.
So what did you?
By the way, I have to get home because she's coming over tonight.
Okay. What do you think of that PBS show on God in America? The history.
Oh yeah, you want to talk about that?
History of God in America. It was a good
6.
song.
Did I not watch the last
you
two?
didn't watch the last two.
Did I miss them?
The last hour is on the rise of the evangelical right.
That's the one you liked?
Yeah.
Okay. Why did you like that?
Because it was the most relevant.
Why is that the most relevant?
So it just tied things together, particularly because I grew up a Christian, so it talks about Francis Schaeffer, who's this evangelical Christian philosopher who kind of jump-started the whole evangelical right-wing movement in the United States.